The final round of the 2020 Autosport International BTRDA Clubmen's Rallycross Championship, presented by Cooper Tyres, sees the championship head north of the border to Knockhill Race Circuit in Fife, Scotland. In this truncated three-round season, several contenders across the various classes remain in contention for the overall championship. It should be a very close-run affair today on a damp day in Scotland. Variety of cars ready to rumble. We'll take a lap of the circuit with David Ewan in his classic pre-95 category Ford Fiesta Evo down the main straight at the top of the circuit on the tarmac, down into Duffus Dip over the curve on the inside, then dropping down into the right-hander at McIntyre's corner, which takes the cars onto the loose section. Some drivers call this section of the circuit the Big Dipper. It certainly gets very bumpy along here as the track cuts up as the day goes on. You can see David's Fiesta bouncing around there. Plenty of confident car control needed between the tyre walls on this bumpy dirt section. Then the power goes down as the cars come back onto the tarmac at the end of the bumps. David surviving nicely there. And it's up this short tarmac straight and into the right-hander at Taylor's Turn. Avoid those stacks on the outside and the markers on the inside on the final corner, then back onto the main straight, past the paddock and up over the finish line. Distance of just under a mile, the Knockhill Rallycross circuit. First of the finals underway then, the Cooper Tyres production 4x4 category. A hat-trick of wins in the heats for Bradley Sampson in his Mitsubishi Lancer Evo, and he leads a trio of Subarus into the first corner. Chris Baker in second place, former champion a couple of years ago Paul Davis in third, and Aaron Shaw, newcomer this year, at the back. Paul Davis in the blue car changed a gearbox after the second heat earlier today, so well done to him and his team for getting that Subaru World Rally Team liveried car back out. You can see a bit of damage taped together on the back of his car as well. Now, we won't know who is the champion in this category, incidentally, today, because the results are still provisional over the course of the season, pending an appeal over a disqualification in the second round at Blyton Park a few weeks ago. It's Bradley Sampson who leads the first lap in his Mitsubishi, the first of 5 laps in this A final. Had a perfect score in the heats earlier on, the only driver, incidentally, to win all 3 of his heats. The best 2 out of your 3 heat results determine your position in the finals in BTRDA Rallycross. The drivers will take 2 out of their 3 scores across the course of the season to decide the championship. They drop their worst score, but they can't drop this round at Knockhill. You cannot drop the final round from your total. It's a quirky point system used by the Autosport International BTRDA Clubmen's Rallycross Championship. We will see champions crowned today, just not in the Cooper Tyres production 4x4 category. Where is Paul Davis going? He's gone way wide, hits the marker on the outside. He's off to Edinburgh, I think, there. That's allowed Aaron Shaw to come through into third place. It's still Bradley Sampson who leads, chased by Chris Baker in his Subaru, and Aaron Shaw, newcomer this season, up there in his Subaru Impreza in third. We should have seen a competitor in the Clubman 4x4 Championship here today for the more powerful cars, the Nissan Pulsar of Graham Reed. Unfortunately, that broke down in testing prior to the event, so we haven't seen any Clubman 4x4 entries, sadly, across the course of the season, competing for the most powerful category run in this championship. Over the bumps there, the Big Dipper. They head back onto the tarmac. Chris Baker not letting Bradley Sampson get away here. Sampson has led home both A finals so far this season, looking for a hat-trick, but as we say, results remain provisional from the second round at Blyton, so we won't know who the champion is today, unfortunately. That will be decided on appeal. Paul Davis has rejoined. He's still going back in 4th place. It's still Aaron Shaw in 3rd. There is Davis up against the pit wall. Familiar to viewers of the likes of touring car racing. Here at the home of motorsport in Scotland, the only major race circuit now operating in Scotland with the closure of Ingliston a few years ago. Over the bumps flies Chris Baker. Not really closing in on Bradley Sampson, the young gun in the Mitsubishi. His first season racing in the 4x4 category. He's racing a Peugeot 206 in his rallycross career so far in the production class. Into the final lap we go then, up and over the top, under the Beatson's Building Supplies bridge here at Knockhill. A slightly murky day, but things staying dry for the finals at the moment. Down the drop into McIntyre's. Making it very fine there on the inside, past the tyre stack there, Chris Baker, and he has dropped away slightly now. It is going to be a win for Bradley Sampson in the Mitsubishi. Over the bumpsy hedge, just threading it between the tyre walls, through the Big Dipper, up towards the checkered flag this time. Only Taylor's turn for him to negotiate now. Onto the brakes goes young Brad Sampson, into the right-hander. Chris Baker is not going to catch him, and it's going to be victory at Knock Hill for number 65. Bradley Sampson takes the flag in the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo. Second will go to Chris Baker. Aaron Shaw will take third place. Paul Davis, after a mistake midway through, will take fourth, but he did well to be out there at all after having to change a gearbox with fairly short time in between the heats and finals. So we'll check out the results of that Cooper Tyres production 4x4 final. And Bradley Sampson the winner by just over 2.5 seconds ahead of Chris Baker. Aaron Shaw taking third a few seconds back, and Paul Davis recovering to complete the four runners. In terms of the championship points, as we say, things only provisional at the moment, so we won't know the champion today. It is Bradley Sampson who is on top at the moment, ahead of Chris Baker, Paul Davis and Aaron Shaw. Soon the appeal will be known, which will crown a champion this year in the Cooper Tyres production 4x4 category. Well, meantime, let's go down to the paddock and we'll hear from our A-final winner, Bradley Sampson.
Bradley, what an amazing drive. I mean, you must be on cloud nine after that.
It's such an amazing day. I mean, that final sort of capped it all off. I mean, straight off the start, got into first, and then it was just holding it from there. And Chris Baker was there hounding me the entire time. Always in the mirrors, but...
It's a great category that you're in. You've got a nice friendly amount of pressure, haven't you, from the rest of the category there. Some fantastic racing from everyone, but I know we were chatting earlier on the live feed about how well you're gelling with the car. I think you've pretty much just proved my point out there now. You're absolutely flying in it. You must be having so much fun.
It's so much fun, yeah. I couldn't ask for a better car. It feels like I'm driving a game sometimes. It's just so smooth, and the Subarus are still there, but it's just that little bit of extra that's managing to keep me ahead and keep me out of all the trouble.
Absolutely, like you said, you have got the pace that you need, but they've got that little bit of pressure behind you, making sure you know you can't let off, and that must make such a good race for you.
No, it's the entire way through. You can't stop grinning because you've got that pressure from behind. You can't go easy. You can't sort of coast and win, so you have to push it the entire way. And once you've pushed it that entire way and you manage to finish, it's such a nice feeling when you finally see that flag go down. You know you finished.
Yeah, it must be brilliant. And what a brilliant way to finish the very short season we've had, but what a brilliant way to finish the season nonetheless. Do you know what your plans are for next year, or are you playing it by ear for now?
I definitely think I'm going to be coming back next year for another season of the BTRDA. Bigger breaks maybe, but other than that, that's what I'm planning so far.
Brilliant. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you out there. I don't think there's much you need to change. The car looks like it's got a good setup and you're gelling with it brilliantly, so we can't wait to see you next year. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Time for the Questmead 710 Oils Junior Rallycross Championship, and the red car of Tom Ovenden in pole position is the man to watch here. He is in contention for the overall BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. He won Heat 1, Luke Constantine, the outgoing overall champion, won Heat 2, and Kasper Potiera in the Citroën Saxo, the Polish driver, won Heat number 3. We are underway over 5 laps. If Tom Ovenden wins this, he will be in contention for the overall championship. He'll need to take the win though, and see what the drivers do in the other categories that are in contention. He's got the lead around McIntyre's for the first time. The Dayglow yellow car of Luke Constantine in second place, the reigning overall champion. He won't be retaining his title this year though, beaten in both rounds so far at Liddon Hill in Kent and Blighton in Lincolnshire by Tom Ovenden. Potiera in third place. He's got Owen Robbins in the blue car behind him. Then we've got Corey Paget and Max Watt, all Suzuki Swifts with the exception of Kasper Potiera in the Saxo. One non-starter in this race, Max Langmaid, picks up some damage in Heat 3 in a collision and wasn't able to repair in time, as Constantine has a look for the lead there, coming through Taylor's for the first time. Can't quite get past Tom Ovenden. Now Tom needs to win here, and we'll wait and see what the drivers do in the other categories. The likes of Mark Jones in the classic category. Luke Constantine slowing there. Has he got a problem? He retired from one of the heats earlier on. He's down to fourth. Luke Constantine in the number 1 car behind Owen Robbins, and Kasper Potiera now up into second place. No problems there. Max Watt has spun coming into Duffus Dip. He's facing the wrong way. Should get going again from there though. So Ovenden leads. It's Potira in second place. I was saying there the other drivers to watch will be Mark Jones in the classic category. Also Dale Ford is the other main contender for the overall championship as well. All goes to a tie-break if they both win all their A finals this year. And Owen Robbins, he's going to outbrake himself there. Surely he's heading for the markers. Very close there as he tried to outbrake Luke Constantine for third place. Luke back ahead of him. The first three able to pull away as a result. That's all of them heat winners today. Robbins still fourth. It's Corey Paget fifth. Max Watt rejoining in sixth place after that spin. And Max Langmaid, of course, was a non-starter, the former mini stocks racer. Owen Robbins, one of his old rivals from the short ovals, both from the southwest of England. Long trip to Scotland today. It's Tom Ovenden with if anything an even longer trip, based down near Lidden Hill in Kent. Saw his father Tristan in action at Lidden Hill with his Renault Clio in the Super National division, Super Modified division I should say, earlier this year. Yeah, nice to see Tristan try a full assault at the AS Performance Super Modified category this year. He did win the final at Lidden, but not registered for points in the championship, so it was Guy Corner who took maximum points on that occasion. And it's the younger Ovenden we watch here, coming through to complete another lap, chased by Kasper Potira. Not a huge amount in it there. The young Polish driver staying with him. You can see the wipers going on the Saxo there. There's a few spots of rain in the air. Constantine's got the wipers going as well. They're clear of Owen Robbins in fourth, Paget fifth, and Max Watt in sixth position. A little bit of a lock-up there from Ovenden that time through. He's doing what he needs to do here. A lap and a half to go. Constantine attacking Potira for second place. Luke Constantine recently made his circuit racing debut in the Ginetta Junior Championship with well-known touring car team, Team Hard. Maybe we'll see him switch to the full tarmac circuits next year. Constantine family background is in rallying, of course. Luke all over the back of Kasper Potira, trying to pressure him into a mistake. Rarely been beaten in A-finals over the last 2 years as Luke, but this year he's met his match in Tom Ovenden, as it would seem Kasper Potira as well. Two red cars lead them into the final lap. This is looking good for Ovenden because Potira's having to defend from Constantine. That's losing him time. And Tom Ovenden is being able to pull away. And he's going to make it 3 A-final wins out of 3 in the junior category this year, which will keep him in contention for the overall championship. I reckon it's going to be between Tom and Dale Ford in production. We'll wait and see how things work out at the end of the programme. And all the points are combined together for the various categories. Over the Big Dipper they go. They're well clear of their opposition here, these big three. The 3 heat winners today. It's going to be Tom Ovenden keeping his hopes alive of the overall title. Potira still defending from Constantine. Round the final corner they go. Tom Ovenden up towards the checkered flag, takes the victory. Potira second, just ahead of Constantine. Tom Ovenden stakes his claim for the overall Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. You can see how hard those two were battling for second because Owen Robbins had closed up towards the end as well. We'll confirm the results in just a few moments' time. But that's exactly what Tom Ovenden needed. Could we see him take the overall championship this year? Corey Paget comes in the white car to take 5th position, and Max Watt, after a spin early on, comes over in 6th place. Okay, that's Tom Ovenden's job done. Confirm the results of that one then. Ovenden the winner by 1.4 seconds ahead of Kasper Potira, who had Luke Constantine on his bumper towards the end. Luke had to settle the third ahead of Owen Robbins. Corey Paget in 5th position, then Max Watt in 6th. Max Langmaid, meanwhile, a non-starter with damage from heat number 3. But we'll have a look at the points then. Tom Ovenden will be on top of the junior points table, but if he wins the overall title, due to another quirk of the regulations, he won't win the junior title. So if he does, Luke Constantine will win the juniors. We'll have to see what the other categories do. Constantine ahead of Potira, Langmaid, Robbins, Paget, Max Watt, and the absent today, Harry Garman.
Tom, once again, you've driven an outstanding race. You've been brilliant all day. The pace has been there from the get-go. And of course, you've just won your A final. You must be really, really chuffed right now.
I am unbelievably chuffed. It's been a really good year. well, 3 rounds, not well, quite a year. But yeah, it's been really fun racing this category.
You look like you're having fun out there for sure. You've won every year final, which, like you said, has been a short year this year, so 3 rounds, but you've won each one nonetheless, driven fantastically. You are obviously leading championship points. The production class result from their final is going to possibly tip one way or the other as to whether you've taken the full championship. I know we had a chat with you earlier. I think you're going to be happy with the result either way. You've just had a great year, haven't you?
Yeah, if he does win it, I'm not. It would be nice to win, obviously, but I've done the best I possibly can, so I can't be angry at myself if I don't. So, we'll see how it pans out. Yeah.
If Dale, who is sitting on double points with you at the moment, if he does win his A final as well, it is just going to come down to a matter of statistics and going back through your previous wins and previous and points and stuff. So you can't beat yourself up at all if you don't get the championship win. But either way, you'll win the juniors. So congratulations, you've drove amazingly, and we hope that we'll see you again next year.
Thank you very much. Hope to see you again as well. Hopefully we'll be here. Thank you.
Tom Rivenden keeps his championship hopes alive with victory in the junior category here at Knockhill. Then he's now just got to sit back and wait to see what the other categories will do here today over the course of the remaining races here at the final round of the Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship 2020. We now move on to our next round of finals. This is the AS Performance Super Modified Championship here at Knockhill. Let's see what they can do. Tony Lynch starting as favourite for the championship in his Ford Ka. He won a heat earlier on. It's Northern Ireland's Sam Boville in his rear-wheel drive Vauxhall Astra who's on pole. He scored a double heat win earlier on, completing the front row of the grid. Fellow Northern Irishman Alan Crockett in the Vauxhall Corsa. Away they go down towards the first corner. One car slow away there, Leonardo Lyon with the Peugeot 206. It looks as though Sam Boville has got the lead. There's Todd Crooks in his BMW Mini. The more standard BMW Mini of Leanne Sedgwick behind him. Kenny Hall in the Renault Clio qualified by winning the B final earlier on. The top 2 in the B final were Kenny Hall and Dave Watt in his Suzuki Swift. They joined the back of the grid, but it is the Astra of Sam Boville, the visitor from Northern Ireland, who leads the way. Look at the bumps there over the infield dirt section. Boville leads the way. This spectacular sideways driving rear-wheel drive Astra, flames coming out of the exhaust there. Tony Lynch in the Ka in second. Then we've got Crockett in third ahead of Crooks, Sedgwick, Hall. There's the white Suzuki of Phil Chicken, the black one of Dave Watt, and finally Leonardo Lyon at the back of the field. One non-starter in this race, Steve Bell with his Peugeot 205, didn't make it onto the grid. Todd Crooks looking to win his sub-category. There are sub-classes within the AS Performance Super Modified division. Leanne Sedgwick's already wrapped up the BMW Mini subclass. The overall championship looking set to go to Tony Lynch if he stays where he is at the moment in that rocket ship of a Ford Ka, on board with Todd Crooks in the BMW Mini. And Tony Lynch has gone off. We can see to the left there, Lynch is off onto the grass now. Will that have a bearing for the championship? Because Crockett's gone through into second place. Todd Crooks is up into third. Now, has Tony Lynch kept it going, or has he got a problem? Is that why he pulled over onto the grass there at the end of the loose section? We'll see if the Ford Ka is still going in a moment. Now, that could change things. Yes, Lynch is still going. He's behind Todd Crooks. So it's Boville from Crockett now, Northern Irish 1 and 2. Crooks in third place, and Tony Lynch trying to close back up again and keep his hopes of the Super Modified Championship alive. It's Boville from Crockett, Crooks in third, Lynch down to fourth. And that should be enough for the overall championship. He doesn't need to push too hard here. The veteran rallycrosser keeps threatening retirement, does Tony Lynch in the Lucas Oil sponsored car. But not if he keeps winning titles like this. Todd Crooks up there in third place. Tony Lynch up the inside, pushes his way through. It came from a long way back there, and back up into third place goes the Ka. Such a lightweight little machine, so rapid in a straight line. You can see now he's going after Alan Crockett for second place. There's only 2 laps to go. Sam Boville, meanwhile, is up the road, away and gone in front. He's heading for victory. Well, Tristan Ovenden won the opening round at Liddon Hill. It was Darren Bleasdale who won the second round in his Vauxhall VX 220 at Blyton. It's going to be Sam Boville, barring any major disaster here, as they head into the sunset. How can Todd Crooks see where he's going through that mucky windscreen and with the sunset in his face as well? Tony Lynch ahead of him in third place, heading for the championship as it stands at the moment. We'll confirm the points at the end of this race. They're well ahead of the rest, these four. There's Crockett in second place. Lynch trying to chase him down as they go into the last lap of the season for the AS Performance Super Modified category. There's Leanne Sedgwick next through in the BMW Mini, ahead of Kenny Hall in the Clio, the B final winner. Behind them, the Suzuki Swifts of Chicken, Dave Watts and Leonardo Lyon's Peugeot 206. It's going to be a win for Sam Boville, Sideways Sam in his Vauxhall Astra. There goes Phil Chicken through to start his final lap. They're very well spread out in this field. Sedgwick holding off the Clio of Kenny Hall. Sam Boville is heading for victory. It's going to be a win for Northern Ireland ahead of Alan Crockett and Tony Lynch. Here they come through the final corner. Lynch has closed up on Crockett, but Sam Boville's already gone through to take the checkered flag. There he is, Crockett second. Lynch will take third place, and he should seal the championship just ahead of Todd Crooks in the BMW Mini. Leanne Sedgwick should be next home ahead of B final winner Kenny Hall. Confirm the results in just a moment. Well done Sam Boville, 3 wins out of 4 here today. Beaten only in heat number 2 by Tony Lynch. Kenny Hall coming home in the Clio. Have we lost Leanne Sedgwick there? She hasn't come through. Well, there is Phil Chicken. He's made up quite a bit of ground as well. So has there been a tangle there on the last corner? There's Dave Watt. There's Leonardo Lyon in the Peugeot over the line. And yes, we have lost Leanne Sedgwick at the final corner. Bad luck to Leanne. She's bogged down in the grass. Let's confirm the results of that one then. Sam Boville the winner by 7.5 seconds. That's an eternity in Rallycross, ahead of Alan Crockett. Tony Lynch in third place ahead of Todd Crooks, with Kenny Hall 5th. Phil Chicken 6th ahead of David Watts and Leonardo Lyon. Bad luck Leanne Sedgwick, a non-finisher. Stephen Bell, was a non-starter. And in the AS Performance Super Modified Championship, Tony Lynch is the champion, 5 points ahead of Todd Crooks, then Leanne Sedgwick and Phil Chicken. They win their sub-classes as well. Kenny Hall in 5th ahead of round 1 winner Guy Corner. Sam Boville 7th, and Fred Ling, absent this weekend with car problems from Knockhill, completes the top 8.
Sam, it's fantastic to see yourself and your team back with the BTRDA. You've been away a little while, so we've missed you. And what a way to do it in style with winning your A final. You must be over the moon with that.
Yeah, for sure. It was tough and I had a real good day. It's all about the start, and she was gripping well at the start, so I got it no bother.
Yeah. I think it's probably safe to say that car grips well everywhere, to be fair. But it goes so well off the line. Like you say, if you get that lead, do you actually relax at all during that? Because it looks like you're having so much fun fighting that car. You can't be relaxing.
Well, just trying to not do what comes naturally and try and drive neatly, which is very difficult. I seem to get carried away at times, but I was just keeping my head, and it was worked out great.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, the car goes fantastically. I've heard a lot of positive comments from the spectator side of the fence. This event, it's a head turner. It really is, and you clearly have a lot of seat time and a lot of experience in that car as well, because you seem to gel with it really well.
Yeah, recently we've been doing a bit of work with the suspension, and it is changing every time we bring it out, and we changed some stuff. I had to call home and ask some advice from the guy I bought it off, and so it worked out well for the dry weather anyway. I was happy with that.
Perfect. And how have you found the track itself? Because I think it's generally quite a well received track. There's a nice section of the loose, the tarmac's got quite a bit of grip. How have you found it?
Yeah, if you didn't have the bumps, it might be too fast, and it just wouldn't have the same appeal. Yeah. The bumps add something to it, and there's a nice dry line through it. You just beat through it and keep up the gears and keep her spinning.
Fantastic. Well, you do that for sure. So well done. Absolutely amazing drive, and it was brilliant to see you all back here again with the BTRDA. Hope to see you again soon.
No bother.
We are ever closer to crowning a champion in the 2020 Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. We move on now to the Production Championship. The smaller hatchback racers, sponsored by SG Haulage Limited. This is the B final getting underway. The top 2 will go through onto the back of the grid for the A final, and already one car in trouble there, the Ford KA. That's one of the Crisp family. That's Johnny Crisp, I think, going off there. Your leader is John Rook in the Peugeot 106, the championship manager. It's Alan Laidler's Citroën Saxo in second place. They hold the qualifying positions at the moment. Cameron Whitley's Ford Focus is in third. Then we've got Rob Hindley in his Renault Clio, next through Graham Cuthbert, and then Johnny Crisp in the Ford KA, bouncing over the bumps there after going off at McIntyre's for the first time. A couple of non-starters in this race. Mark Henry's Alfa Romeo didn't make it out, likewise Peter Hamlet in his Honda Civic, and also Tony Crisp in his Ford KA not making it to the grid. Completing the first lap then, this is John Rook who leads the way, racer and rallycross official. Look at Rob Hindley there, dodging about all over the tail of Cameron Whitley in the Ford Focus. They're side by side down towards Duffer's Dip. Bit of a lock-up there from Alan Laidler, as round the outside goes Hindley. The Clio quicker than the Focus in a straight line. He goes up into third position. Now try and move past the Saxo to take second place and move into an A final qualifying place. Favourite for the A final will be Dale Ford. If he wins it, he will be in a tie-break with Tom Ovenden for the overall championship. We'll see that coming up later on. And look at the Focus there, does a nosedive over the bumps there. Cameron Whitley, and again, bouncing around like a kangaroo there, and the Ford KA as well. Goodness me, Johnny Crisp being shaken around in there. Still ahead of Graham Cuthbert though. The Citroën C2, the green car, has dropped back as Rook leads them through. Laidler under pressure now for second place from Rob Hindley in that Renault Clio. We saw him in good form at Blyton at the last meeting, only a penalty preventing him from making the top finals. Side by side and round the outside into Duffer's Dip. That's brave on the brakes from Rob Hindley. He's through up into second place. Good driving by Rob Hindley. I think Alan Laidler may be having some braking problems. We saw him lock up again there, the blue and orange Saxo. He's down to third. It's John Rook out front in the number 26, the silver Peugeot 106. Bit of smoke there from Cameron Whitley. We saw him slam over the bumps a lap ago. Yeah, he's damaged the Focus. Smoke everywhere from underneath the right front. I'm not sure whether that's tyre smoke or engine smoke. No problems for Hindley though. Slides the Clio through Taylor's turn. It's Laidler, then Whitley as we go into lap number 4. Still out in front, and Cameron Whitley is pulling over. Into the paddock he goes. That's the Focus out of the race. So it's Rook from Hindley. Laidler in third place. Johnny Crisp and Graham Cuthbert now the only other runners. They're further behind. Something flew off Rob Hindley's car there, I think. Was that something off the car, or did he run over a bit of debris? I'm not sure. It's not slowing him down. He's still after John Rook here for the lead. This is good stuff from Rob Hindley. Car's being shaken as they go over the bumps there. It's probably one of those bits falling off him. And he is catching John Rook here. This is good stuff. Rob Hindley, who was in fourth place after the first lap of this race, he's caught John Rook now. He's got another lap to attack him. It looks like these two, whatever happens, are going to go through to the A final on the back of the grid. Into their final lap they go, then up over the top, the highest point of the circuit. Down towards the right-hander at Duffer's Dip, and Rob Hindley up the inside. He's going through again. Clio so much stronger through that section of the circuit, and he's into the lead. This is a brilliant drive through the field by Rob Hindley in the Renault Clio. Going clear now of John Rook. John electing to play it safe to qualify. Well, there's Alan Laidler. He's being caught by Johnny Crisp. That's now the battle for third place. They're still ahead of Graham Cuthbert. Of course, we lost Cameron Whitley into the paddock with damage to the underside of the car, I think. Or whether the engine just gave up the ghost, I'm not sure. We saw a lot of smoke from the Ford. But it's going to be the Renault that takes the win. Running wide there through Taylor's turn for the last time, but it is going to be a win in our SG Haulage Production B final for Rob Hindley ahead of John Rook. There's Graham Cuthbert still going in the very green Citroën. The top two cross the line, then Hindley wins it ahead of Rook. And they go through to the A final. It'll be Alan Laidler and Johnny Crisp battling home for third and fourth place. Well done, Rob Hindley. That's a great drive through the field from fourth to first. Hindley taking the win by 2.5 seconds ahead of John Rook. Johnny Crisp getting past Alan Laidler on the last lap for third place. Graham Cuthbert, the only other finisher. Cameron Whitley dropped out. Mark Henry, Peter Hamlet and Tony Crisp were non-starters. Well, the top two go through then to the back of the grid for the A final. The man everybody's eyes will be on in the A final is number 704, Dale Ford. He's been beaten to pole position. He played it safe in the heats and finished second in all three of them. Maciek Florszak from Poland is on pole. He won 2 heats. The other man to win a heat was Joe Meskauskas in his familiar Liquimolli liveried Citroen C2. Away they go. Watch for Dale Ford from the outside of the front row. He's got exactly the start he wanted. Puts a bit of a squeeze on Joe Meskauskas as they head down towards the first corner. Can he get ahead of Maciek Florszak on the outside? Yes, he can. Dale Ford goes into the lead. 12 months ago, he was denied the overall title when his throttle broke on the first lap of the A final. We've got a spinner. That's Rob Hindley, the B final winner, has spun it going into Duffus Dip. But it's Ford that leads from Florszak, Meskauskas, Carl Jarvis in 4th place. And then the championship sponsor, Steve Gaunt, in his Renault Clio, is in 5th position. Behind him is the Vauxhall Corsa of Hamish Gilfillan. Then we've got Dale Riches, Louis Kershaw, John Rook, and finally Rob Hindley. But Dale Ford escaping out in front. If he wins this, he'll be in a tie-break for the overall championship with Tom Ovenden. We'll wait and see what Mark Jones does in the Classic division coming up in a little while as well in his Toyota MR2. But look at the lead that Ford's got already. The tie-break, I think, is determined by the number of drivers in your category, the number of drivers you've raced against and beaten over the course of the season. Somebody's slowing there. That's Steve Gaunt, the Renault Clio, in trouble. Looks like he's out of the race. Here's Hamish Gilfillan, great name that is, in the Vauxhall Corsa. Oh, he's lost it. Coming down into Duffus Dip towards McIntyre's, and Joe Meskauskas has hit the tyres there on the inside. Through goes the Saxo of Carl Jarvis up into 3rd place. Maciek Florszak still in 2nd. Look at them bouncing over the bumps there. It's more like motocross than rallycross. It's great stuff. Shaking the cars to bits. Meskauskas back up the inside, retakes 3rd. There's Florszak in 2nd place. Now, if Dale Ford wins the overall championship, I think it will be Maciek Magic Florszak who wins the production category as Louis Kershaw in the MGZR goes off. There goes Florszak. Don't forget, if you win the overall championship, you can't win your category title. It's a strange system, but it does mean more winners in the Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. So if Dale Ford is the overall champion, it will be Maciek Florszak, I think, who wins the production category title. I hope you're following this, because I'm struggling. There is Florszak in 2nd, Meskauskas, the Lithuanian driver, in 3rd. And Carl Jarvis with the yellow wings. Dale Ford in the Saxo, a lorry driver by profession, leads the way, doing everything he needs to do. He played it safe in the heats, 3 second places, giving him the outside the front row. There's the Otto Lubricants sponsored MGZR of Louis Kershaw recovering from his spin. John Rook behind him. Skauskas chasing now Maciek Florszak for 2nd place. Poland versus Lithuania. Then we've got Carl Jarvis. Dale Riches next in the order in his Citroen C2. And in fact, no, he's not, because that is Dale Riches stuck there on the exit of the loose section. Looks like his front suspension is broken, so he's broken it over the bumps, and the leaders need to watch out here. There'll be a yellow flag out there to warn them. There's Florszak, there's Meskauskas. Have to be careful because Dale Riches is on the track there. The leader's seen him and gets through okay. That's changed the order a little further back. We've got 2 retirements. They're coming up to start the final lap this time. It's going to be surely a victory for Dale Ford, and he'll be in the tie-break for the overall championship. 2nd and 3rd follow him across the line. 4th place is Carl Jarvis. Looking back through the order, looks like it's Rob Hindley in 5th position, recovering from that spin on the first corner, the B final winner. Next in the order, Hamish Gilfillan. Then we've got Louis Kershaw and John Rook. Dale Riches and Steve Gaunt, of course, out of the race. Not that Dale Ford minds about that. Oh, very close there. He clips the tyre. He's taken his wing mirror off there. That was close. Don't lose concentration, Dale Ford. Meskauskas bounces over the ruts there. Back onto the tarmac. He's almost home, Dale Ford, in the Steve Gaunt sponsored Citroen Saxo. The SG haulage production category. It's going to be 3 A finals out of 3 this season for Dale Ford. Keeps his hopes alive of the overall championship. He takes the win. Florszak comes over in 2nd, Meskauskas in 3rd, and the rest of the field come home. We'll await confirmation of that result then, but it's, I reckon, going to be a tie-break between Dale Ford and Tom Ovenden for the overall championship. We await the classics, of course. If Mark Jones wins the classic division, then he'll be in contention as well. It may go to a tie-break. Tony Lynch won't be in there from the super modifieds, unfortunately, because he was beaten in A finals earlier this season. It's all going to come down to a tie-break for the overall championship this year once all the scores are added up. But well done, Dale Ford. He's done what he needs to do. Wins that A final for the SG Haulage production category. Wins from Maciek Florczak by just under 2 seconds. Joe Miskowska's taking third ahead of Carl Jarvis. Rob Hindley recovering well for fifth after spinning on the first lap. Louis Kershaw sixth ahead of Hamish Gilfillan and John Rook. Dale Riches and Steve Gaunt, the two non-finishers. Now let's see what that means for the points then. Well, Dale Ford with a maximum score, he'll go into the tie-break. If he does win the overall championship, it will be Maciek Florczak who takes the production category title ahead of Miskauskas, Johnny Crisp, and Riches, Kershaw, Jarvis and Rob Hindley. So well done to Florczak and Dale Ford. Let's hear from Dale in the paddock.
Dale, storming race as usual. I expect nothing less from you now. Last year's champion, possibly this year's champion. You've got double points with Tom. You've both won your A final, so it's now going to go back to looking at previous races, wins, etc, etc. So it's all on a bit of a technicality now. How are you feeling after the way today's gone?
I'm very nervous at the minute. I'm happy that I won the A final because I felt under pressure today, but I'm very nervous for the outcome for the overall.
Of course, completely understand that. Regardless of the overall, I'm sure you've got your fingers crossed for that, but you'll have won your class as well, which is an amazing achievement again. So basically second year running for that. You've got a really, really good consistent car and you're a consistent driver out on track as well, which is obviously great for what you're trying to achieve. Are you thinking about doing the same thing again next year with us?
Yes, yeah, I'm thinking about the production, yeah.
So hopefully it'll be a hat-trick, right?
Hopefully, never know.
I'm sure you'll try your best, but well done. We'll keep our fingers crossed and eyes peeled for the result. Well done regardless.
Thank you very much, thank you.
Well, two contenders already over and done with for the overall championship. Dale Ford in production and Tom Ovenden we saw earlier on in the junior category here at Knockhill. Will one of them be overall champion this year? Still all to play for here at the final round of the Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. We're getting ready then to move on to the Classic Division, sponsored by Steve Gaunt Trailer Hire, pre-1995 classic cars. This is the B final, and leading the way, Phil Morton in his Citroën AX, pursued by a pair of minis, Ian Clark in second place, and further back Helen Crooks in third place. There'll be many mother and son racing combinations in the UK. Helen, the mother of Todd Crooks, of course, who we've seen in the super modified category. But it's Phil Morton in his Citroën AX who leads the way. The top two finishers go through to the back of the grid for the A final. A couple of non-starters in this race, unfortunately. James Lyon in his Vauxhall Chevette and Tony Browse in the unique to Rallycross MG Maestro. When was the last time you saw one of them? Unfortunately had some problems in the heats. There are the two leaders over the line then. Looks like Phil Morton and Ian Clark looking fairly safe to qualify. Helen Crooks further back in the order. Ian Clark and Helen Crooks fighting for the Classic Mini Championship this year as well. If Ian Clark wins this, he should seal the title. Just got to get into the A final. Great entertainer on and off track is Ian Clark. Often hosts the awards nights in the winter for Rallycross and for Minicross Drivers Association as well. Phil Morton away in front here, making his debut with the championship this weekend in the Citroën AX. We've seen Dan Rook, a racer turned commentator, find success in an AX over the last few years in the world of Rallycross before moving on to greater things. Into the penultimate lap we go then. Morton from Clark. Helen Crooks is further back. She'll just be happy to complete the distance here, I would think. Enjoying her racing as always, part of the Rallycross family, very much so. Bit of smoke out of the back of the AX there. Let's hope that Phil Morton is not having problems. Three very lightweight cars in this race. The AX, popular as a short oval race car as well. Minis we've seen in every form of motorsport over the years since the car was introduced back in the late 1950s, of course. The Mini Cooper came along in the 60s, and Mini Cross, a hugely popular division over the years as well. Coming around to start our final lap of this B final end for the Steve Gaunt Trailer Hire Pre-95 Classic division. See the championship contenders out in the A final, likes of Mark Jones and David Ewing and so on. Into the final lap we go then. Morton with a clear lead, almost the length of the top straight over Ian Clark here. Down into Duffers Dip for the final time, down the hill into the right-hander at McIntyre's. It's looking good for Phil Morton and Ian Clark to make the A final. Morton makes it through, no problem. Oh, Ian Clark's hit the tyres. How on earth has he done that? Now, can he get going again? Has he damaged the Mini? Well, if he has and he can't get going, then Helen Crooks not only make it into the A final, she's going to take the Classic Mini subcategory title as well. What on earth happened to Ian Clark there? Did he suffer a breakage, or was it just a bit of brain fade? Here comes Helen Crooks, well behind in this one, but she's not going to believe her luck. Heads down into McIntyre's. There's Ian Clark. Thank you very much, I'll take second place, says Helen. As Phil Morton says, thank you very much, I'll take the checkered flag and win the race. Well, the win goes to Phil Morton, a long way clear of Helen Crooks, but at least she makes the finish and into the A final. Ian Clark out of the race there, and of course James Lyon and Tony Browse not making the start in that one. So Morton and Crooks go on to the back of the grid for the A final. I'm not sure what happened to Ian Clark there. Just hit the tyres going into that final lap. Time to get ready then for our A final for the Pre-95 Classic division. Mark Jones, the man to watch in the Toyota MR2. He won 2 heats earlier on. The other man who won a heat we're on board with, David Ewing, in the Ford Fiesta Evo. We are underway over 5 laps. Mark Jones needs to win, but it's a good start as well by Northern Ireland visitor David Crockett in the Vauxhall Chevette. But Jones, the Welshman, has got the lead. Round the outside goes David Ewing. John Cross in there as well in his Lancia Stratos replica. Ian Biaggi in the Mini Clubman, David Martin in the Peugeot 205, and B-final winner Phil Morton in the Citroën AX next in the order. Over the loose they go on the first lap. Mark Jones out in front. If he wins this, he'll go into the tie-break for the overall championship along with Tom Ovenden and Dale Ford. There's Phil Morton in the Citroën AX at the back there. Helen Crooks, mother of Todd Crooks, in her Classic Mini, qualified through the B final when Ian Clark, fellow Mini pilot, crashed out unfortunately on the last lap. Leaders head through into Taylor's Turn. There's a bit of rain starting to fall here at Knockhill. You can see it on the camera lens there. Jones from Ewing as they complete the first lap. Third is Crockett in the Vauxhall Chevette, the car that he rolled at Lytton last year. Fourth place John Cross, winner of the opening round in his Lancia Stratos. Mark Jones, the man in contention for possibly the overall championship, but he has to win this race. He can drop his score from Lytton. He can't drop a score from Knockhill, of course. There's Ian Biaggi, the Mini Clubman, David Martin in the Peugeot. Morton and Crooks complete the field. A couple of non-starters in this one. Mark Pearson in his Vauxhall Corsa and Martin Peel in his Peugeot 205. He got some damage in a tangle with Mark Jones in the heats earlier on. David Ewing's had a good day in the Fiesta, winning heat number 2. We're with him. He's attacking the race leader, Mark Jones. Now, if he gets through here, a fired up David Ewing, sideways though out of Taylor's Turn. If he gets through, Jones won't be able to win the title. You can see there's rain coming down. The wipers are going as they go into the third of 5 laps into Duffers Dip. Crockett keeping in touch, the Northern Irishman in the Vauxhall Chevette, throws it sideways as they come through Duffers Dip. He's going out wide on the exit. He's over the gravel. That's lost him some ground. John Cross could come into the picture now in that beautiful Lancia Stratos replica, of course, the iconic rally car of the 1970s. It's Jones who leads. David Ewing in second place, trying to have a look on the inside over the loose. He won't get through there. Jones, the garage owner from South Wales. David Ewing, the farmer from Cumbria, lost a bit of ground there over the loose that time. The MR2 quicker in a straight line. Look at this further back. Phil Morton's hit the back of David Martin in the Peugeot. He's had a problem there. I think he may have jumped out of gear there over the bumps, and Phil Morton hit the back of him. Bit of damage to the 2 French cars. And Morton has gone through. Ian Biaggi got through as well there, the local man in his Mini. But the rain really coming down now. You can see it's getting slippery out there. Jones and Ewing together into McIntyre's corner. And all problems for third place. John Cross has spun and Crockett's spun as well. They both go around. Who's going to fire up first? It's Dave Crockett keeps going in that third place. Now David Ewing, meantime, he's up alongside. He's up alongside Mark Jones, trying to get through for the lead here. They're side by side over the loose section. They're never going to get through. They're together, surely. Oh, David Ewing, he's hit the tyres. He bounces off Mark Jones. Goodness me, have they kept going? Jones has got away. Ewing, I thought, was going to spin there. Is there damage to the Fiesta? That could have decided it in Mark Jones's favour. It's still the MR2 that leads. There's damage to the front of Ewing's car, but he's still going in second place. This race turning into absolute chaos. Jones leads into the final lap. It's Ewing in second place. My goodness. Dave Crockett, I think, is still going in third place in the Vauxhall Chevette further back. John Cross has rejoined after his spin as well. You can see where they hit the tyres as they spun together. Oh, we've got an accident on the loose section. John Cross hits the tyres. What on earth's happened there? That's Ian Biaggi and Phil Morton in the tyre wall. Now surely the race is going to have to be stopped. There's no way through there. The track is almost blocked on the loose section. Let's hope all the drivers are okay. Helen Crooks pulls up in her Mini. There's Jones, who was about to lap Helen Crooks. Oh my goodness, that is a nasty one. We'll try and work out what's happened there. Let's have a look again. Phil Morton was chasing Ian Biaggi, tried to go round the outside of him on the loose section in that battered Citroen AX, and Biaggi just came across him and walloped straight into the tyre wall. Morton into the back of him. David Martin did well to miss them in the Peugeot 205, and then John Cross came through, we saw as well, having recovered from his spin and was lucky not to pile into them, but he hit the tyres on the inside as well, which almost blocked the circuit. The race has obviously been stopped, and the result, I can tell you, has been declared at 3 laps. So Mark Jones the winner ahead of David Ewing, Crockett third ahead of John Cross, good fortune for him. David Martin fifth, Helen Crooks takes sixth position, Phil Morton and Ian Biaggi not classified as finishers. Of course, Mark Pearson and Martin Peel were non-starters. Well, that means that Mark Jones goes into the tie-break as Classic champion for this year. If he takes the overall title, it will be John Cross, though, who inherits the Classic title. Then it's David Ewing ahead of Martin Peel, Dave Martin, Ian Clark, Helen Crooks, and the absent today, Vince Bristow. Let's hear from our race winner, Mark Jones.
Mark, it's always a pleasure to interview you. With all of your wins you've had over the last few years with BTRDA, you've driven amazingly. You were sitting, before this round started, second overall in your class. I think that win might have tipped you to be winning your class for the championship. How does that make you feel?
It's great. You know, it's the second one now. We done it last year, and to do it 2020, it's a great achievement to do it. 2 years on the trot. Great. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I know you're recovering from an injury as well at the minute, which was pretty significant. So I'm so over the moon that you've managed to get this result. Whilst battling that kind of thing as well. Is it taking its toll on you a little bit?
Yeah, it's like your feet, the break was quite severe, so it was. But yeah, we're there with it. We're okay. Yeah.
It doesn't stop you, does it? That's fine. Are you planning on coming back to the championship for 2021 for a hat trick?
Yes, hat trick. Yes, definitely. We'll have a go at it. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, we can't wait to see you back out there. I mean, Knockhill, obviously, you've driven before. How do you find the track personally? Your car is obviously unique here, really, compared to the rest of the championship. How's it handle on the track?
Yeah, the car handles really well on the track. Every part of the track suits the car. So it's I enjoy being up here with it. It's a long way to come, but it's an enjoyable event up here.
It certainly is a long way to come for yourself. How long does it take you to get from your home to here?
8.5 hours. Yeah.
That's some commitment, Mark. That's some commitment, but we're very appreciative. Well done. Amazing to see you out there as always, and we'll look forward to what next year brings for everyone.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, the figures are in, the tie-break has been worked out, and congratulations are in order for Dale Ford, the overall 2020 Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross champion. Making up for the heartbreak of last year, Mark Jones and Tom Ovenden, the men in the tie-break. Tom takes the junior championship. Mark Jones retains his classic title. Tony Lynch takes the super modified division, while Maciek Florszak will take the title in the production division. Congratulations to all our champions from this year, and congratulations most of all to Dale Ford, your overall champion for 2020. Can also report that everybody was okay after that crash in the Classic final that had to be shortened, but that does conclude the 2020 Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship season presented by Cooper Tyres. Certainly has been a rather strange and shortened season, but a very enjoyable one. Well done to all the drivers involved, and thank you very much indeed to all the officials, marshals and everyone else involved in the BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship for 2020. We'll see you back for a full season in 2021, but for now, thank you very much indeed for watching, and goodbye.